Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's Carol here at Oak House Journals. I'm going to do assignment number 4 of the Stitched Circle Show Challenge being hosted by Lisbeth Degn. And there's a link in the description box below this video if the challenge is new to you and you'd like to find out more information. So the Dogma rules for this week are that we use light coloured fabric. So I've got some of my French vintage bedsheet there on my desk. The next rule, or rule number 2, is to draw a circle or trace a circle. So I'm drawing a circle using the inside of a roll of sellotape and a Friction marker pen, just going around the inside, as you can see there. I'm using a very fine tip Friction marker pen, so it took me a little while. The third rule is, with your eyes closed, to draw a continuous line inside the circle. So you just saw me doing that, and here I am just using that Friction marker pen to define those lines. So I'm going over those lines now that I've got my eyes open so that I can actually see where they are and where I want my stitching to be. The fourth Dogma rule for this project this week is to use a whipped double running stitch, so you'll see me do that in a moment or two. And the fifth rule is to use 2 thread colours, and the colours of the threads can be your own choice. One colour has to be used for the double running stitch and the other colour has to be used for the whipping stitch. Here I am using my Friction marker pen just to make sure where my stitching is going to be on the outer circle, so that I'm sure that I have an even number of stitches, because it's quite important when you're doing double running stitches that you have an even number of stitches. So here I've just threaded up a couple of strands of DMC black thread, and the first line of stitches is just a basic running stitch all the way around the outside of my circle. And here I am filling in the gaps between the first row of running stitch to create my double running stitch. So I go all the way around like that. And I will be doing exactly the same inside my circle on those freehand drawn lines. So just slow things down a little bit so that you can see that I'm just filling in the gaps, so that effectively double running stitch makes it appear as if you've got a continuous line of stitching. So there we go, that's what that looks like. I'm just going to fasten off that thread on the back. Here I'm doing exactly the same, just filling my needle with a couple of strands of DMC thread, and I'm using the back of my needle and I'm just looping over and over each one of those stitches to create the whipping on the double running stitch. So just going all the way around my outside circle, whipping my stitches in red, and it gives a nice little detail to those black stitches. I do exactly the same thing for the continuous line that I drew inside the circle, but my stitches inside are red, so the double running stitches are red and the whipping is black. So here I am just separating out 2 threads, threading up my needle, quick quilter's knot, and here I am going in, just doing my first row of running stitch. Again, I've used my Friction marker pen just to make sure that my stitches are going to be relatively even and even number as well. It's not too critical when you have an open-ended line, because you can always pop in an extra stitch, but when you're doing the circle, it's a little bit more important. Oh, there we go, just going round with my first row of stitches, and here I've got to the end Just doing again my last few stitches here. Finish off my thread on the back, and then I'll go in with my second row of running stitch to fill in those gaps. So all very simple, and actually that's the joy of this Dogma Embroidery challenge that Lisbeth has hosted for this year. Everything is super easy, nothing complicated, and as I've said in previous videos, if you are not an embroiderer, you're going to learn some new stitches by the end of the challenge or end of the year. So this is my finished piece, just trying to decide which way up I want to have it when I put it in my journal, and I'll do some close-up photos for you to have a slightly better look at the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Take care, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye bye now.